Hey everybody, Sam Farkas here. Back with another 5-minute lesson. As always, these lessons are based on real questions I get from real people while I'm teaching guitar lessons here in Nashville, Tennessee. So this week, the question was about legato. Okay, if you've been playing music for a while, you're probably familiar with this idea. Legato is a musical term that describes a group of notes that are attached or have a flowing, connected feeling. Any instrument can play in a legato fashion, including the guitar. However, the term legato means a little bit more than that to guitar players. It's kind of a whole technique that's associated with specific kind of sounds and genres and styles of guitar playing. You usually find this in like metal and shreddy stuff and more modern rock. However, you can play legato phrases or legato passages in any type of music at any time. And I think that you're probably already doing this, right? It's this if you ever used a group of hammer-ons or pull-offs or slides, slurs, to connect a group of notes, and you're playing in a legato fashion. So you've probably done some of this already. But as it refers to kind of a certain stylistic idea, a certain sound, it's generally like shreddy rock music. And within that, you find these kind of common fingerings and common patterns and stuff. One of which I just played. You'll see a lot of 3 or 4 note per string patterns, these kind of repeating ideas that move up in octaves. And usually very minimal picking with the right hand, maybe only picking once per string to allow you to achieve this flowing sound. But I wanted to share with you a pattern, a little legato pattern. It's just the major scale, G major scale. This I think I stole from Rusty Cooley, a great super shreddy guitar player. If you're not familiar with him, you should check him out. But it's a 3-note per string pattern, which is super common for legato playing. I'm only picking each string once. So for every group of 3 notes, I'm only picking once until the very end of this pattern. But check it out. I thought I'd share it with you. Even if it's not the most useful lick in the style of music you're playing, it's probably worth learning just maybe as an exercise if you're not familiar with legato playing. So this starts at G, 3rd fret of the 6th string. And you play the 6th string once and hammer on with your other fingers. Same thing on the next string. Okay, pattern slightly different on the following 2 strings. That's the D and the G string. So now it's going 4, 5, 7. Right? Symmetrical fingerings, you notice, in pairs here. So we have pretty cool. Okay, at this point, we start the pattern over again, but we do it on the 4th string. Right, now I'm thinking 6s here, by the way, rhythmically. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? Okay, and at that point, I think I did. I jumped up to playing on the top 2 strings, the B and E string. I'm just moving up the scale at this point. Chromatically at the end, just so things land on the downbeat. So here's the whole pattern slowly. And, check out my right hand. I know that this is kind of where all the action is, but my right hand, I'm really only picking once per string. So all this is flowing together because I'm not picking or articulating every note. You could play this pattern, by picking every note if you wanted to. Maybe using some economy picking. It'd be pretty quick, but certainly doable. Okay, so then the other question is, well, why would you ever use this technique? And I think there's kind of 2 general reasons. The first is it creates some economy of motion. Right? Usually our picking hand is the hand that kind of lags when it comes to playing fast, notey passages. So it's less of a lift. It's just not as hard with your right hand, right? And if you're struggling to play something that's fast at speed, try picking less. that'll probably solve your problem pretty quickly. The second reason to use a legato approach is for aesthetic effect. It can sound different. It does sound different. It does sound different than picking every single note. It's slightly more slippery. It's a little bit less articulate. And this is a cool sound. You could use this to effect. Now, a lot of really good kind of shreddy modern rock players have control over this. And what I mean by that is when they play a legato passage, if they want it to sound legato, they can do so. If they don't want it to sound so legato, they're good at controlling the individual dynamic of each note in the passage, and you don't really hear it. So it may be perceived as every single note being picked, but that's probably not the case. Some of those notes in like a fast run or fast line are likely being slurred, hammered, pulled, or slid into, but you just can't tell because these guys have worked really hard on kind of getting their legato phrases, legato notes, to be at the same dynamic and also being really in time with their picked notes. So it's kind of camouflaged in there. You can't really tell. So those are kind of the two basic ideas, right? So a sense of economy for your right hand and an aesthetic effect. So there's lots to explore. This is just the most basic overview. So listen to some players that you might be into. Check out Rusty Cooley. Check out, I mean, all these guys did this to some degree. So yeah, do some listening, do some exploring, and just try it on your own. But if you're getting started with it, this pattern might work really well for you. So, all right, see you guys next time.